conversar agora com um analista que também é um trader, é um corretor e está aqui nesta bolsa apenas há 30 anos. Ele conhece muito bem o mercado aqui nos Estados Unidos e também fora, principalmente do Brasil. Eu vou perguntar para o Alan Valdez, que está aqui há tanto tempo e conhece também o nosso mercado. After the crisis, what can you say about this market and our market in Brazil?
Well, you know, that's a great question. Your market right now, you had a terrible quarter this first quarter, but we've had a terrible 8 years. People here in America know it's not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when Brazil takes off again. Emerging markets as a whole have gained which Brazil is part of, have gained 58% in the last year, as opposed to American stock markets, which in general have gained just 12%. So the Brazilian market and the emerging markets, but especially Brazil, we love Brazilian markets. We think that market takes off. What happened here in America is unfortunately just the opposite of what happened in Brazil. Our dollar's been so weak, it's pulled down our country, but it's helped our exports. In Brazil, what hurt you this last quarter is your real is the strongest it's been in 12 years, hurt your exports. Worry about inflation. Right now, people are a little worried, but not savvy investors like myself. We invest in Brazil right now because it's a good opportunity, we feel. Again, we're not worried about Brazil. We know Brazil, you have a great president. He's cut consumer inflation from 12% to 5% in 3 years. He's cut spending, which we have to do in this country, which we're not doing. He's cut spending on the local and federal levels, which has been great. So we have total faith in Brazil. We like it.
What about the IPOs happening here and there?
Right. If you look at the IPO market, especially in Latin America, the IPO and the M&A activity last year was over $200 billion. In Brazil alone was $104 billion. Of course, you had the big Petrobras, you had some big ones last year. America, it's been kind of flat. We've had some Chinese IPOs, nothing spectacular. Brazil's had great, and the emerging markets have a great IPO market. We think we'll probably have some big IPOs this year coming down the pike, but you know, Brazil and Latin America has been right up there.
Alan, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Thank you
Nice
very
to
much.
meet
Thank
you. E a gente continua com a cobertura aqui sobre o mercado de ações nos Estados Unidos.